Unusually today, I was thinking we could explore beginning our practice standing, kind of exploring some standing larger movements, and then we'll kind of make our way down to the slower, more restorative stuff. But of course, you're welcome to do whatever you want. So if it sounds interesting today, you could explore making your way towards standing if you'd like. Let me make sure. If you come to standing, it may feel interesting to take a little bit of side-to-side movement to begin. Maybe rolling your shoulders a couple times. And then possibly choosing to come towards a moment of stillness. So sometimes this is called mountain form in our yoga practice, just exploring our kind of neutral standing body. There may be a very soft bend in your knees. The idea is just to explore kind of softening in our kneecaps, so perhaps we're not locking our knees. That may bring a kind of dropping down or heaviness in your lower back or your pelvis. You may feel a slight lengthening through your spine, your fingers softening alongside your body. You could stay here. You could also place your hands over your heart if that feels useful. If you feel balanced in this moment, you could close your eyes. Maybe coming to a moment of arrival as you feel the ground beneath your feet. You can wiggle your toes if that feels useful, kind of noticing that connection between your body and the ground. And then visualizing or feeling your body rising up from your feet. Feeling your standing body, the length of you from your feet all the way up to the crown of your head. Maybe a few gentle cycles of breath here. Then whenever you feel ready, you could blink your eyes open if they're closed, reaching up to breathe in. And exhaling your arms down alongside your body. Breathing up to reach up. And exhaling to bring your arms down. And you may notice that as you exhale, there could be a little bit of a bend in your knees. And as you inhale, maybe your legs straighten. And throughout this practice, you're welcome to kind of modify any of these movements for yourself or change this practice in any way. You can always move differently than I'm moving, faster or slower. If you'd like, you could reach up to breathe in. And as you exhale, maybe you release your arms slightly back and down, possibly finding your hips with your hands. And maybe you take a few great big circles in each direction, really listening into your hips, your lower back, maybe even the backs of your legs. You may feel a bit of a stretch there. You're welcome to change directions as many times as you'd like. Just noticing how you're breathing as you're moving today. You could continue this movement if you'd like, or for something a little different, you could come through center and maybe reach up to breathe in. And as you exhale, you could bring your palms together towards the center of your chest as you bend your knees and sit your hips back towards an invisible chair. So inhaling, maybe rising up, and exhaling, maybe drawing your hips back. You're welcome to explore breathing however feels useful in this movement. One way to breathe would be to inhale through your nose as you reach up, and you could breathe out through your mouth as you lower down. You may start to feel the muscle dynamics here in your legs. You can always adjust your stance in any way that feels supportive for your body, your knees, your hips. And you can come back to this movement at any point during our practice together. Whenever you feel ready, maybe you inhale to rise up. Exhaling your palms to face forward, inviting your body to become large, maybe a lift in your heart. You could balance for a moment by lifting your heels to breathe in. And as you exhale, you could land your heels, releasing your arms down. And maybe you swing a little bit from side to side, your arms getting kind of heavy and soft, possibly lifting one heel and then the other behind you. Taking your time to make your way back towards your center. Your arms can kind of swing their way towards stillness if you like. And then if you choose to, you could widen your stance slightly and maybe explore rolling one shoulder and then the other. And as you do that, you may notice your body starts to kind of move with you from side to side. As you roll your right shoulder, maybe a little bend in your right knee. As you roll your left shoulder, a little bend in your left knee. Listening into our shoulders, maybe even your upper body, maybe your hips, a little bit of a stretch there. You can keep moving in this way. You could also let your elbows start to get into the movement a little bit. So kind of circling one elbow and then the other if you like. If you're looking for a little bit of a twist here, as you're rolling your right shoulder, you could look to the right. And as you roll your left shoulder, you could look to the left. And one other way you could explore this movement would be to maybe circle your arms. So one arm circling and then the other of opening from side to side. Noticing how you're breathing and starting to come back towards your center whenever you feel ready. And maybe explore a little bit of rolling forward. So just balancing our shoulders, rolling forward, maybe a little bit of rolling with your elbows. And then maybe swimming forwards, one arm and then the other. And to give our arms a moment to breathe and rest, you could swing them forwards and back. You heel toe your feet just a little closer in, maybe a little bend, or bounce in your knees as you exhale. We'll use our own momentum to inhale our arms all the way up whenever you're ready. And as you exhale, maybe you swan dive into a gentle forward fold. So your hands could come to your legs or your shins. We're just coming as far forward as feels like a useful forward fold today. You're also welcome to bring opposite hand to opposite elbow and kind of swing from side to side. Your legs could be straight or bent. We'll take our time here to start finding a little bend in our knees whenever you feel ready, and maybe rolling your way up to standing. Maybe you inhale to reach up. Exhaling your palms together towards the center of your chest, and then perhaps bringing your hands back to your waist, maybe a circle or two again. Checking back in with your hips, your lower back. We'll just take a few more movements here standing before we make our way down for seated and restorative practice. Possibly bringing both hands over towards your right hip, maybe opening your heart to the right. You could also look back towards the wall behind you. And we're each going to look for a standing twist where we could stay for a few cycles of breath. Maybe pausing here. And then sweeping your hands over to the left whenever you're ready. Looking to the left or perhaps looking behind you. Again, just pausing here for a moment. And then we'll come back through center, maybe a circle or two in your wrist. And inhaling to reach up. As you exhale, you could flick through the air with your fingers, bringing your arms all the way down. Now, one option of movement here would be to open your right toes to the right, sort of rock onto your right heel as you bend your left knee. And it may feel useful to hinge forward, resting your hands on your legs for a moment, really listening into the back of your right leg, maybe a bit of a stretch here in your lower back on the left side. Let's take a deep breath in and exhale out. Take your time to start landing your right toes and inhaling to reach up, straightening both legs. Exhaling your arms down. We'll just take that on the other side. Maybe you open your left toes to the left, starting to rock onto your left heel, bending your right knee so you can hinge towards your left leg. Really listening in for an interesting stretch for your body in the back of your left leg, maybe your lower back a little bit on the right side. Breathing in and breathing out. As you start to lower your left toes, inhaling to reach up, straightening both legs, and exhaling your arms down. Shaking out a little bit through your hands, maybe a circle or two. We're going to slowly make our way back down, or make our way down to the ground. There's many different ways to do that. So one option would be to reach up and breathe in. And as you exhale, you could come towards that forward fold that we found. As you inhale, you could lift about halfway up, looking forward. And as you exhale, you could bend your knees. We're going to find the ground with our hands and lower one knee and then the other, coming towards your tabletop. And however you've decided to make your way towards the ground, we'll meet in our tabletop whenever you're ready. Maybe sending your hips from side to side. You could continue that movement, or on an inhale, maybe lifting through your heart to look forward, feeling your belly drop, your tailbone lift behind you. And as you exhale, you could tuck your tailbone, rounding up your spine to look towards your body. Sometimes this is called cat and cow or a spinal wave. Maybe a few more cycles of that movement at your own pace. Staying within a range of motion that feels pretty gentle, interesting for your body. And we'll start to move towards neutral when you're ready. And maybe extending your left leg back. You could tuck your toes if you'd like. You could also lift your leg. Maybe on your exhale, you bring your knee to your chest, and on your inhale, you extend your leg back. You can continue this movement with your left leg. You could also add in your right arm if that feels inviting today. On one of your inhales, maybe you extend your left leg back. As you exhale, you could land your knee and plant your right hand if it was lifted, sending your hips from side to side. And if side to side movement isn't feeling very interesting today, you could also walk your hands slightly forward and take more of a circular pattern with your hips. You're welcome to try both options and see if you prefer circles or side to side today. Whenever you feel ready, we'll start to come towards a neutral spine. Maybe you extend your right leg back. You could tuck your toes. You could also lift your right leg. On an exhale, if you'd like, you could bring your knee to your chest. And as you inhale, you could reach back. You're welcome to add in your left arm here if that sounds inviting, or if that's part of your personal practice. On one of your inhales, maybe extending back. And as you exhale, you could land your right knee and your left hand if you were using your left arm. Maybe you want to send your hips from side to side. And you could come back to your spinal wave if you'd like. So inhaling to look forward and maybe rounding as you exhale. Another movement that's available to you would be to take your downward facing dog. So if you'd like, you could tuck all 10 of your toes And inhale to lift your hips. Maybe looking at your own feet, and maybe you want to bend one knee and then the other. Notice anything you notice here, maybe a stretch in the back of your legs or some strengthening in your arms or your upper back. We'll use an exhale to come down towards your tabletop when you're ready, untucking your toes. As we begin to move towards our first restorative form, you may find a couple of your pillows useful, or a big blanket, or if you have a yoga bolster, you could use a yoga bolster. From your tabletop, you could start to shift back towards your heels so that we can place our pillows in front of us. You're welcome to try out kind of how many pillows feels most supportive today. Taking your time to hinge forward as we come into our first child's form, maybe choosing to take this as a restorative child's form with some support. You're welcome to adjust the placement of your forearms on the ground so that your shoulders can really let go of the weight of your body. You may find your eyes closing. You may feel a kind of heaviness as your hips melt down towards your heels. Inviting your body to pause here. Maybe your eyes closed. And you may notice that with each exhale, you're able to sort of melt further into the support that you're using. And there's an invitation to pause here for 6 or 7 cycles of breath, longer or shorter. You're always welcome to come out of the form at any point. So if you'd like to, maybe coming into a moment of pause. Inviting a sense of softening into the muscles of your body. Each of us hold our tension in ways that are unique to us. So taking this moment of pause to kind of listen in, and if you notice some part of your body that's holding or grasping or tightening, you could invite a sense of softening there, maybe a sense of kind of melting or your muscles letting go a bit. A few more cycles of breath here. If you'd like to, you could stay here for longer. Or one option would be to kind of lift just enough to bring the opposite side of your face to rest on your pillows or your support, and balancing out that side of your neck for a moment. And then taking your time to perhaps start to slowly push into the ground or into your support to start to lift through your heart as you make your way back towards a tabletop. Maybe you want to send your hips from side to side. Depending on how long you've been paused there in your child's form, you may find your legs asking you for a little bit of movement or circulation. So you could tuck your right toes into the back of your mat and send your heel towards the wall behind you. That may feel a helpful stretch for your right leg. And maybe taking that on the other side as well. Tucking your left toes and sending your heel back. Sometimes it's useful to take that a couple times on each side. You could also come towards your down dog if that's feeling more inviting right now. Any movement that gives you a little bit of a stretch into your legs to reanimate or send some circulation to your toes, your feet. As you feel ready, maybe landing your heels and walking your hands towards your body so you can kind of sit off to the side. You're welcome to take a little bend in your knees, so kind of gathering both of your feet to one side. There's an option here to take a little bit of a restorative spinal twist. So one way to explore that would be to bend your knees so that your feet are over to the left, and then maybe place your pillows or blanket or have a chair if you have one available to the right of your body. And it kind of depends on what feels like an interesting stretch for you. So you can adjust where your pillows are based on what feels interesting for your spine today, maybe opening a little bit to the right and then hinging towards your pillows. So you can use that support of your pillows to come down. Again, resting whichever side of your face feels more useful. So you may find more sensation in your twist if you place the left side of your face on your pillows, of deepening that twist into your upper back. You could also rest the right side of your face. That may feel more restful today. Each of us finding this kind of supported twist. Again, releasing the weight of your body into the support of your pillows, maybe into the support of a chair if you're using one. Allowing your body to breathe in a way that feels very restful, pretty tender. Certainly don't want to be forcing a deep breath anytime we're exploring a twist. You may feel kind of deepening or stretching sensation in your left side of your body. Feeling maybe kind of softening through your shoulders, especially inviting your shoulders and your arms to really let go so that you can rest on your pillows or your chair, whatever you're using to support your body here. Pause for a few more cycles of breath. Taking your time. So, really moving in a way that feels very kind to your body. You could push into either the ground or into your chair, or whatever you're using to support your body as you come towards neutral, breathing in. As we exhale, we're just going to balance out that twist. So, opening a little bit to the left, maybe your right hand comes towards your left knee, balancing out that twist by looking over to the other side. And then inhaling through center. As you exhale, we'll extend our legs forward if you'd like. Maybe you want to wiggle your toes, point and flex your feet perhaps. You could also circle your toes here, really listening into your ankles. And sometimes I find a little bounce useful in my knees. You could try that if you'd like. And whenever you feel ready, maybe bending your knees, sort of tucking your feet over to the right side. This may be where you'd like to pause. Or if you're interested in taking that twist on the other side, you could use your pillows, kind of setting them up to support you. You may notice your twist is a little different on this side. So kind of up to you where you want to place your pillows so that you're able to kind of lean or hinge towards them. Again, you can use furniture here to support you, or pillows or a blanket. Finding a twist that feels supportive, maybe where you're able to kind of release the weight of your body into either your pillows or the ground, or some supportive piece of furniture. You may notice your eyes closing. Listen into your neck here and see which side of your face you'd like to rest. Possibly taking a few very gentle cycles of breath here, feeling your muscles kind of releasing, finding perhaps some softness in any parts of your body that you may notice tightening or tension. You could pause here for as long as you'd like. And when you feel ready, you could start to slowly push into whatever is supporting you. So your pillows or the ground or your chair, inhaling your way through center. And as you exhale, kind of balancing out that twist. So checking in by opening a bit to the right. Your left hand may come over to your right knee. Maybe breathing in as you come back towards center. And as you exhale, there's an option to extend your legs forward again. So maybe a little bit of that same movement in your ankles or your toes. You could also bring the soles of your feet together in what's sometimes called a butterfly. And there's no need to sort of draw our feet close to our body here. So we're looking for a pretty kind of tender, gentle place. Maybe you rock from side to side. Your hands could rest very softly on your knees, or you could bring your hands towards your feet if you'd like to lean forwards a bit. Rocking from side to side for a few gentle cycles of breath here. Take your time, maybe coming towards a comfortable way of being seated. So you could keep your feet together if that feels kind of sustainable. You could also cross your ankles or sit on your heels and maybe take a few great big circles in your torso. Possibly breathing in for a full circle and breathing out for a full circle. Changing directions whenever you feel ready. Beginning to come towards what feels like a neutral spine for you, possibly releasing or rolling your shoulders down and back. So you may feel a kind of softening across your chest or your shoulders, and maybe beginning to melt your right ear towards your right shoulder. So it's possible that you'll feel some lengthening or stretching sensations in the left side of your neck. And here there's a few options. So you could pause here. You could also extend your left arm down to the ground, and that may have change or increase the sensation in the left side of your neck. Another option would be to gently place your right hand either on top of your head or on your left ear. And we're not pulling or yanking here at all. You could imagine your right hand getting heavy, and that may kind of bring more sensation to the left side of your neck. Just a few more cycles of breath here. And if you'd like to, you could gently use your right hand to assist or kind of help your head to come back through center, breathing in. As you exhale, resting your hands on your knees, maybe you take a few gentle circles through the air with your chin or your nose, noticing how you're breathing. And starting to bring your focus forward, maybe as you breathe in. And as you exhale, you could melt your left ear towards your left shoulder. This side may feel a little different, so you could choose to pause here. If you prefer, you could extend your right fingertips down to the ground. You could also rest your left hand on your head or on your right ear. Each of us finding a stretch here on the right side of our neck, somewhere we could stay for a few cycles of breath. Whenever you feel ready, you could use your left hand to tenderly kind of assist or help your head back up through center, breathing in. And as you exhale this time, maybe looking from right to left. So looking past one shoulder and then the other, floating your focus from right to left, or you could choose to close your eyes if you'd like. As you feel ready, inhaling your focus forward. And as you exhale, maybe leaning from side to side. So possibly hinging or tilting from side to side. You could start to use the support of your hands on the ground if you'd like. Maybe sweeping one arm overhead and then the other. Feeling that length into the side of your body, maybe up through your arms. As you feel ready, you could come through center, maybe reaching both arms up to breathe in. As you exhale, circling your wrists, releasing your arms all the way down. We'll take that once again, reaching up to breathe in. As you exhale, you could circle your wrist, you could flick through the air with your fingers all the way down. You're welcome to continue with any other movements you'd like to take in your seated form. Or if it sounds interesting today, you could start to roll down onto your back and maybe draw your knees into your chest, perhaps rocking from side to side. If you choose to, you could hold on to your right knee and see if you want to send your left foot down towards the end of your mat. You could hold your right knee towards your chest. You could also circle your right knee through the air, kind of listening into your right hip joint. On an exhale, sending your right foot down to meet your left foot and maybe stretching your arms overhead. Kind of feeling the full length of your body on the ground, breathing in. As you exhale, perhaps gathering your knees back into your chest. Maybe you rock again from side to side. And if it sounds inviting today, you could hold on to your left knee and perhaps send your right foot down to the end of your mat. And that may feel like a moment you'd like to pause. You could also explore those circles through the air with your left knee, listening into your left hip joint. And as you exhale, maybe you send your left foot down to meet your right foot, stretching your arms overhead, taking that full length of your body, breathing in. And exhaling, once again, gathering your knees towards your body. Maybe you rock again from side to side. You could continue that movement, or there could be another movement that sounds interesting right now. If you're feeling that you'd like to take a little bit of a back bend, or sometimes called an inversion or a heart opener, you could plant your feet with your knees bent. So lying on your back, maybe planting your feet. And you could extend your arms down alongside your body, your palms facing the sky. Pushing into the ground with your feet as you inhale. Maybe you tuck your tailbone and lift your hips up towards the sky. So bringing your hips kind of in line with your knees and your shoulders. Sometimes it can feel interesting to rise to our tippy toes here. You're welcome to try that if you'd like. Some people enjoy reaching their arms overhead in this moment. If that sounds inviting, you could try that. Wherever you are, maybe a couple cycles of breath here, perhaps with your hips lifted. And then exhaling as you begin to slowly lower your hips, lowering your heels if they were lifted, sweeping your arms back down if you had swept them overhead. As you feel ready, you could extend your arms wide on either side of your body on the ground. Maybe your palms face the sky, and then maybe your knees fall together from side to side, kind of like windshield wipers. As your knees fall to the left, maybe your head falls to the right. And as your knees fall to the right, maybe your head falls to the left. A little bit of that spinal twist again. Taking your time as we begin to come towards center, and we'll start to transition into a moment of rest. So if you're able to kind of grab your pillows here, you could slide them underneath your knees to support you for a moment of rest. That may feel um, like where you want to have your legs for this moment. You could also elevate your legs on a sofa or on a chair. Or there may be some other way of getting comfortable right now that sounds really inviting or instinctive for you. So taking your time, using whatever pillows or blankets or bolsters you have to get comfortable, perhaps some elevation with your legs, perhaps not. Maybe coming to a place where you can feel your body starting to welcome a moment of rest. You may feel as if the front of your body is kind of dropping down into the back of your body, so that the back of your body may feel like it's melting down into whatever is supporting you, so that you are able to melt down into this moment of rest. As you feel all of your muscles and all of your parts just settling in for this time of stillness, perhaps, and rest. You may find that you'd like to release a sigh or heave a sigh. As you invite your body to breathe naturally, tenderly, you may feel kind of wave of warm rest flowing through your body. That wave of warm light and rest, bringing with it a sense of release, so that your muscles are able to soften into rest, so that your mind and your heart and your body melt into a moment of rest.
On me dit que nos vies ne valent pas grand-chose, elles passent en un instant comme fanent les roses. On me dit que le temps qui glisse est un salaud, que de nos chagrins il s'en fait des manteaux. Pourtant quelqu'un m'a dit que tu m'aimais encore. C'est quelqu'un qui m'a dit que tu m'aimais encore. Serait-ce possible alors? On me dit que le destin se moque bien de nous, qu'il ne nous donne rien et qu'il nous promet tout. Paraît que le bonheur est à portée de main, alors on tend la main, on se retrouve fou. Pourtant quelqu'un m'a dit que tu m'aimais encore. C'est quelqu'un qui m'a dit que tu m'aimais encore. Serait-ce possible alors? Serait-ce possible alors? I know you belong to somebody new, but tonight you belong to me. Although we're apart, you're a part of my heart, and tonight you belong to me. Way down by the stream, how sweet it will seem once more just to dream in the moonlight. My honey, I know with the dawn that you will be gone, but tonight you belong to me. Slowly begin to bring your awareness back towards your body. Perhaps starting to deepen your breathing in some way. You may find that you'd like to stay right where you are and continue resting. Or you may find that you'd like to explore some kind of tender movement. So maybe finding whatever little movements feel very instinctive or natural, whichever parts of your body are perhaps asking you for movement. You're welcome to stretch your arms overhead or allow your head to fall from side to side. Maybe you start to bring your knees into your chest if you're lying down. Maybe you rock a little bit from side to side. Your eyes could be closed or open. If you'd like, you could start to tenderly guide your body towards seated. And there's an invitation here, if you'd like, to take a moment just for yourself to listen in and see if there's any changes in how you feel since the beginning of your practice today. As we inhale, if you'd like to, you could reach up. As you exhale, you could bring your palms together towards the center of your chest. You're welcome to bow your head if you'd like. Peace and light from my heart to yours. Thank you for sharing this practice with me, and I look forward to seeing you all very soon.